come around to say hello. One-on-one, I'm so fly. You took a nosedive. Careful when you play on my level. For you, it's so. Hey, hello.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
So, Shanta, is this liberalism or is this really, liberalism built with the hatred for these world leaders that actually drove opposition's entire campaign back home in, excuse me, back home in India and also in America?
Those who call themselves liberals, they are the most illiberal, fascist people you can ever come across. And there is enough evidence to suggest that. These are the people, for example, America, which is supposed to be the, shining star of a free press. Now it turns out that every single media house in America was being pressured to what they could publish, what they could not publish. Every social media platform was being pressured on what they could publish, what they could not publish. So there was a story on Hunter Biden and his famous or infamous laptop. It was censored out of the so-called mainstream American media, which is why social media took over in the US. And then they started clamping down on social media until that was no longer possible. And then Elon Musk came. Now they blame Elon Musk for interfering in elections. And the so-called liberals and the woke are the biggest crybabies. When the Economist or some of these other Western rags decide that they will pontificate on Indian politics and they will advise, quote unquote, the Indians on whom they should vote for, that is not interference. Elon Musk talking about, his favorite candidate in some country, that is interference. And Navika, incidentally, you did not mention one of the biggest shining stars of the new common sense, you can call it right wing. I don't indulge in this right and versus left. But the most sensible guy right now is, and a man with a proven track record over the last 1 year, is the Argentinian president, who has demolished so many things in Argentina to revive the economy, and that's showing results. So clearly, the problem with these so-called woke and liberal is they are stupid, they are dangerous, and they undermine the security of their states and the stability of their societies, which is what Angela Merkel did in Germany, which is what the French have done, which is why in France you see that the so-called right-wing parties are now knocking at the door of power. You see the same thing happening in Germany. We've seen that in Netherlands. Across Europe, this is happening. We've seen this in North America. Trudeau has gone. Trudeau, imagine, within 9 years, he has ruined one of the most successful economies in the Western world. This is their track record. And Navika, when we talk about tolerance, when we talk about liberal values, you just need to go to a Western university to see how much of thought control and the kind of Nazism or, the so-called Soviet Union communist type ideology is being preached in Western universities, especially these so-called Ivy League universities. They have become cesspools of this woke ideology where even a normal debate, a normal ordinary debate between students can get you cancelled. You are not allowed to write something in a paper arguing a point which your professor does not agree with, because you will be either doxed or you will be marked and literally failed in that exam. This is the kind of illiberalism which had taken over, and this is why this reaction has come. This reaction was building up in the United States, it's been building up in Western Europe, and in India. I think it was bad political management, which is why the BJP did not get a majority on its own. Had they managed their politics very well at the local level, I think they would have got over 300 very easily, but they botched it up. That does not mean that the kind of mindless liberalism that is being preached out here, and I have nothing against truly liberal policies. I have nothing against it. But the kind of nonsense which is being preached, communal violence bill, how is that liberal? Please tell me. The communal violence bill.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And clearly, obviously, this was being controlled. The narrative was being controlled by some powers which suddenly are seeing red flags coming up. But let me get in Smita Prakash. Smita Prakash, I really want to pick up on this. If it was supposed to be a prophecy, coming from Rana Ayub. No denying that Trump would be catastrophic for Gaza and the world. This is what she wrote. Look at it today. We have a ceasefire even before Trump has taken oath. What does that tell you? Is their worldview really the worldview of a real world? Or is this just fear-mongering? Fear-mongering about the United States, fear-mongering about Modi in India. Well, across the world, there is this right sweep that's going on. Are these so-called woke liberals, as they are popularly called, well, are they on their way out? Are they having their meltdown moment tonight?
Well, fear sells, so I don't know whether it will ever go as far as our polity is concerned. And the other thing is, I'm watching the visuals that you're running of the presidential car, the Beast as it's called, the Cadillac One. It's a $1.5 million car. It's a gorgeous piece of machinery going down, heading towards the Capitol. And the president, who's going to be taking oath of office soon, his second term, it's going to mark a significant move in the political and cultural landscape of America, I should say, because as you pointed out that, lots of people are visibly scared, whether it is in the US, whether it is the rest of the world, as to what's going to happen in the second term of President Trump. Certainly, there will be a shift, and the four liberals, as Sushant would call them, they are worried because there is going to be a definite shift, and Donald Trump, as candidate Trump, had emphasized his commitment to dismantle these woke ideologies which have become entrenched in America. And he said that, and particularly he said about educational institutions and government agency. And we've seen, that it's not easy. I mean, in India, you've had a government which has been trying for the past 10 years to do that. And it's only in the second term of Prime Minister Modi that you see some kind of dismantling is a strong word to say, but at least some kind of change that is happening. But the pushback has been so great in a country like India, because entrenched lobbies, they take a long time to settle in, and it's hard. Cultural, educational, social movements, these are very deep rooted in democracies, and they persist despite political opposition. So you can see the strong pushback by the woke lobby in India, which happened in the past 5 years, and it's going to be the same in the US. So when Trump says, take back your country, that soundbite that you just played, when he says take back the country, a lot of it is hyperbole, because, you've seen that his earlier drain the swamp and dismantle deep state. That's not how it works. It can confound anybody, and even the best known plans can be dismantled when it comes to bureaucracy and entrenched bureaucracies. So it remains to be seen how much he's able to do. Certainly he's more committed, because he can only be president for 2 terms in the US as per their constitution. So this is going to be legacy building term, and he is not going to waste time. As he said, he's going to take sweeping decisions as soon as possible.
200 executive orders coming up on day one, and that's
in the pictures that you're showing.
Absolutely, and there is, of course, it is the richest, if the oldest democracy that's functioning out there.